This video is a sample from the Secret Guitar Teacher Interactive course, The 5 Main Elements of Music. The 5 main elements of music. Element number 2, Scales. Section 2.6, Understanding the Major Scale. Part 8, Integrating the Circles. Traditionally, we represent the circle of fourths as moving in the opposite direction to the circle of fifths, like this. Look carefully and you can clearly see that each segment of the circle now shows enharmonically equivalent keys. This applies both to the major keys and to the relative minor keys. For example, looking at the 10 o'clock segment, the keys of A sharp major and B flat major will sound identical to each other, as will their relative minor keys of F double sharp minor and G minor. And all 4 keys in this segment contain the same 7 notes. The only difference between the major keys and their relative minor keys is the starting and ending point of their scales. The 2 enharmonic equivalent major scales share the same sounds. The notes just have different names. The relative minor scales then use the same notes rearranged starting from note 6. This diagram, once fully understood, provides a very clear overview of how all the musical keys relate to each other. But how do we actually use this information? Let's start by looking at it from a songwriter's point of view. If you were writing a song and were given the choice of choosing between A sharp major with its 10 sharps and B flat major with its 2 flats, you would choose the simpler of the 2 keys, B flat major, wouldn't you? And a careful look at each segment of the circle shows that in most cases there is an obvious choice of a simpler key signature over a more complex one. Certainly, for the last 4 keys in each of the circles, coloured yellow and pink in this diagram, the choice is a clear one. This explains why you are most unlikely to ever come across a piece of music written in the key of D sharp major, C double sharp minor, F double flat major, or F flat minor, etc. But the choices in the lower part of the circle diagram are less clear-cut. Guitar players have a leaning towards keys with sharps in the key signature, the outer circle. So they might opt for C sharp major with its 7 sharps in preference to D flat major, even though this key only has 5 flats in its key signature. But players of certain instruments, horns and woodwind instruments chiefly, are more used to playing in keys with flats in their key signature. So they may opt for C flat major with 7 flats, rather than B major with its 5 sharps. Generally speaking, the last 4 keys in each circle are only ever used in music theory exercises. So while it is important to understand them, you'll be relieved to know that you won't ever be called upon to actually play in those keys. So that wraps up all the basic information you need about the major scale and the role it plays in defining the core subject of musical keys. And you can see that we have also cleared up some loose ends left from the first element of this course by explaining the need for enharmonic equivalence. Please do use the comment section to tell me how much fun that was for you. And if you still have any questions or confusions, don't be afraid to flag those up too. It's a complex subject, but I promise you that as we put this information to use in later sections of the course, it will become ever clearer and ever more useful to you. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you'd really like to maximize your potential as a guitar player, click on the link in the description below to the Secret Guitar Teacher site. Here you can sign up for a 30-day trial free of charge and without obligation. We won't even ask you for your credit card number.